Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, January the 22nd, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. I hope you guys had a nice weekend. Hope you enjoyed your Martin Luther King Jr. Day. What a busy week in the sports world. Very busy weekend. We're going to have a Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. The Ray Lewis magic carpet ride continues. Let's recap what happened in the NFL. Let's start New England. The Baltimore Ravens go into New England and beat the Patriots 28-13. Unbelievable job by Baltimore. Greedy, gutty, just really nice performance by Baltimore. It's funny, Baltimore at the end of the season looked bad. They looked even worse on the road. They fired their offensive coordinator. They stumbled into the playoffs. They had all sorts of injuries this year, especially on defense. Ray Lewis was supposed to be out for the year with the torn triceps. He comes back miraculously. And here Baltimore is in the Super Bowl. They had a miracle win against Denver, and they followed up here with a nice win against New England on the road. New England, it started on the downward slide for New England right away. Opening moments of the game, New England goes down the field. They have a 3rd and 2. What do? Instead of throwing the ball with Brady, they run the ball up the middle. They get stuffed. They settle for 3 points. And then at the end of the half, they are up 10-7. They are inside the Baltimore 10. Brady scrambles. He gets stopped. They have a timeout left with about 16 seconds left. It's only 2nd down. What does New England do? They let the clock go all the way down to 3 seconds. They end up kicking a field goal to go up 13-7. What in the world is Belichick, Brady, and New England doing there? You're playing for a field goal? It's an offensive league. You have a soft defense. Why in the world would you play for a field goal there? You're up 10-7. You have a timeout. When Brady slides there, with about 16 seconds to go in the first half, you call timeout. You have 2nd and 3rd down to throw into the end zone. You could go up 17-7 there. Instead, what do? Brady slides, no timeout, let the clock go all the way down to 3 seconds, kick a field goal 13-7. So the Patriots should have been up by more in the first half. They weren't. Continued right in the second half. New England goes right down the field up 13-7. Wes Welker wide open for it's going to be a 1st down deep into Raven territory. What does he do? Drops the ball. And then because of the wind situation, and the wind really played havoc in this game, New England can't try a long field goal. They end up punting. From there, it was all Ravens in the second half. They go up 14-13 from there, and they just dominate the second half. Then Talib goes out for New England with an injury. That was a huge loss for New England in the secondary. New England's defense is not good to begin with. He's their best player in the secondary. You take him out, no one could cover Bolden. Bolden was wide open all over the field. Throwing Smith wide open all over the field. Throwing Ray Rice is running. Flacco good again. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, no interceptions in the playoffs. Flacco's really elevated his game. Tom Brady did not play well at all. I don't know if it was the wind. I don't know what the deal was. Brady did not have a good game. Remember, Gronkowski was out. They obviously miss him. It was all Ravens in the second half. New England let them hang around too much, and when you let these teams hang around, they're going to pass you eventually. New England let Baltimore hang around. New England should have been up by a lot more in at the half or early third quarter. And it was 13-7 in the third quarter. And New England, you think, is winning like 20-7 or more. They let Baltimore hang around, and Baltimore took advantage of it. From there, Baltimore went to the spread offense. They should have did that in the first half. They were too conservative in the first half, and Baltimore picked that New England defense apart. I said all year New England's defense wasn't good. They did get a little better at the end of the year. Talib going out was a big injury. This was all Baltimore in the second half. Baltimore deserved to win the game, no doubt about it. Their defense was good in the second half. It was actually pretty good against Denver as well. Remember, they gave up 2 kickoff returns against Denver. So Baltimore has really regrouped here in a big way, and they are on one of these magic carpet rides, and we've seen this act before. The Steelers with Bettis that year, they got on a magic carpet ride. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. The Giants did it twice with their miraculous runs. You get these teams on these magic carpet rides, and things start to break their way, and they feel like they are invincible. They feel like there's something else going on here. It's not just just about football. It's some divine power going on here. Ray Lewis thinks it's destiny now that he's going to win the Super Bowl. How could you blame him? I mean, they were beaten last week by Denver, and here they are in the Super Bowl. Tremendous job by Baltimore. I have to give them all kinds of credit. Gritty, gutty, really nice effort by Baltimore all the way around. And give credit to Ray Lewis in this aspect as well. Not only is he good on the field and he's their emotional leader, he had a serious injury. Torn triceps usually means a season-ending injury. He came back and is playing with that injury. Give him all sorts of credit for that. Just a great job by the Ravens here. And John Harbaugh gets to the Super Bowl, and they were elated, Baltimore. They were ecstatic at the end of this game. And New England, another bitter pill to swallow. You know, back in the early years of Brady, you know, they were winning nonstop. They won all those Super Bowls, Brady and Belichick. Now they've come upon a little hard times here. They got beat twice by the Giants, you know, right at the end there. Now they come up a little short this year as well. And it's getting late in the game for Belichick and Brady. I'm not saying they're done, but you can see the finish line. They don't have that many more chances to go. The same thing with Peyton Manning on the other side. He doesn't, with Denver, he doesn't have that many chances either. You got to take advantage of these opportunities when you have them. They had a home playoff game here. They lost at home. You're not going to get too many more of these chances. Brady and Belichick don't have that many more years. And the same thing goes for Peyton Manning with Denver. They are on, I would say, the back nine, as they would call it in golf. They can see the clubhouse from here. I'm not saying they're done. I'm saying time is getting short, so you got to take advantage of these opportunities. So New England has to address this defensive situation. Their offense, we know, even though it didn't play great this week, we know their offense is good. They'll have Gronkowski back next year. They need to address this defense. They haven't the last few years. It's cost them in a big spot a bunch of times. It cost them twice to the Giants. It cost them here as well. So bad job by New England as far as not addressing this defense. The defense has been soft for years now. Have to improve this defense, New England. This is all about Baltimore, though. Congratulations to Baltimore and their fans. Just a tremendous job. If you told me at the end of the season that Baltimore was going to be in the Super Bowl, I would have said no way. I saw at the middle of the year, the beginning of the year, Houston just obliterate Baltimore and Houston. At that point, we thought Houston was the best team, and Baltimore was not even a thought of going to the Super Bowl. Here, Baltimore is in the Super Bowl, and Houston was like an afterthought. New England just crushed them last week. It's amazing how things change in the NFL. As fast as the season goes, it's still a long season. You see all these changes in the season all the time. From the beginning of the year to the middle of the year to the end of the year to the playoffs. It changes week by week. It's a week-by-week season. It's who gets hot at the end of the year and who gets healthy at the end of the year. And forget about this bye week in the home field. That doesn't mean anything anymore. You saw that in the last few years. It used to be back in the day when you had that top seed in the bye week, you were going to the Super Bowl. Not anymore. It almost seems like a detriment now. It almost seems like you get a little rusty with that week off, and the team that plays every week is on top of their game. So really nice job by Baltimore. Tremendous job by them. Congratulations to them. They are one half of the Super Bowl. Let's go to the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Atlanta Falcons 28-24 in Atlanta. This was a strange game. Atlanta, for the second week in a row, got up big and blew a lead again. Atlanta in the first quarter was up 17-0. Actually, the early second quarter, they're up 17-0. From there, the Niners get 2 touchdowns. They make it 17-14. Atlanta scores right at the end of the second half. They go up 24-14. You're thinking, oh, that's got to be a real hard one for the 49ers to swallow. They get back in the game, then they fall back by 10 right at the end of the half. Didn't faze them at all. The 49ers came out in the second half and dominated the game. They actually let Atlanta off the hook a couple times. They miss a field goal. The 49ers field goal kicking is atrocious. Then they get down to the 1-yard line. They fumble there. Crabtree fumbles the ball there. And still the Niners score twice more after that and actually take the lead 28-24. The Falcons try and do what they always do. They try and rally late with Matt Ryan, who has a history of pulling these games out. They throw a pass down the right sideline, which is caught. I thought the ball hit the ground. They went to review. They said it was a good call. The ex-head of officiating, who was up at the booth, said it was a good call. To me, it looked like it hit the ground. But anyway, they said it was a good call. From there, the Falcons get down the field. They have a 4th and 4. They throw the ball to Gonzalez. Pass is knocked down. A little contact. No call, though. You could have thrown a flag there. I'm glad they let them play. It wasn't enough contact for me to throw a flag, but I've seen less called. There was some contact. They don't call it. And the San Francisco 49ers make it to the Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh makes it, and he'll play against his brother John. And how about Kaepernick? Kaepernick has played half a season, and here he is in the Super Bowl. I mean, I was thinking about this. Kaepernick's played like basically half a season. He's in the Super Bowl, and you got a guy like Tony Gonzalez who's played 2 decades, never played in the Super Bowl. Unbelievable how things work out. And also for San Francisco, you have Randy Moss trying to win his first Super Bowl title, so keep that in mind as well. Kaepernick, really nice job quarterbacking this team with his legs, his throwing. Crabtree turning into a really nice receiver. Gore on the ground nice. I like San Francisco's defense. I like their punting. Their kicking game needs a lot of work. That could come back to bite them in a big spot. But San Francisco, you know, it's funny. We fell asleep on San Francisco. We thought at the beginning of the year when they beat Green Bay, they were the best team in the NFC and the best team in the league by far. They kind of got a little sloppy during the year. Then they changed quarterbacks, and you're like, can this team really get to the Super Bowl with a quarterback that's played half a year? I mean, his first season. So you kind of forgot about San Francisco. They had some terrible losses. They had St. Louis they lost to. Then they tied St. Louis. They got blown out by Seattle. They weren't firing on all cylinders. They got a big break. They got that week off and got a home game against Green Bay. That turned around the last week of the season. You know, so that when Green Bay lost to Minnesota, Green Bay actually cost themselves the 2 seed, made the Niners jump up to the 2 seed. That allowed the Niners to host Green Bay. That was important there. And the Niners got the job done here, and I didn't like what I saw from Atlanta's defense against Seattle, and I didn't like them here again. Again, they blew up a big lead. I mean, they had a 17-0 lead and a 24-14 lead in your own building, and you can't hold it. Abraham playing on that sprained ankle was a non-factor. The Atlanta secondary, which I thought was improved all year, they got shredded. Atlanta's defense came up very small in this spot. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, well, Atlanta played a good game and had a good season. Yeah, that's all fine and good. When you have a 17-0 lead in the championship game at home in your building, you have to win. I'm sorry. And Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Roddy White and Tony Gonzalez couldn't be stopped in the first half. They didn't score a point in the second half. Just like New England. New England had no points in the second half against Baltimore. Atlanta at home, after scoring 24 in the first half, shut out in the second half. So New England and Atlanta at home shut out in the second half. Who would have ever thought that? So nice job by San Francisco. And it's Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. You're going to hear about it for 2 weeks. You're going to hear about Ray Lewis for 2 weeks. You're going to hear about Randy Moss, Kaepernick, the rookie quarterback. Flacco is at his time. You got a lot of storylines. Right now, San Francisco is a 4 to 4.5 point favorite. I think from top to bottom, they are the better team. I give Baltimore a chance, obviously. They're on a magic carpet ride. They beat Denver and New England. You're telling me they can't upset San Francisco? I give Baltimore a real chance in this game. I do favor San Francisco. We'll get into the game more, the end of this week, next week. To me, the game is going to come down to Kaepernick. Can he play as well as he played the last couple of weeks? And also remember this, the Ravens have not seen a running quarterback like this in the last 2 weeks. Remember, Peyton Manning and Brady are stationary. They can't move. Kaepernick sees a lane, he's going to take off. That could be the difference in this game. Kaepernick with his legs. Kaepernick is the whole key to this game as far as I'm concerned. Should be a very competitive, interesting, a lot of storylines in this Super Bowl. It's a good Super Bowl. I like it. It's a different Super Bowl, that's for sure. You don't have your Brady or your Manning or your Roethlisberger or your Eli Manning in the game. Different Super Bowl. You're either going to have a Flacco or a Kaepernick winning the Super Bowl this year. That's going to be a lot different. Different Super Bowl, but I think it's a good Super Bowl. So nice job by San Francisco and Baltimore. Tremendous job by both teams. And we will touch more on the Super Bowl, in the next coming days, and of course next week. I don't like the 2-week break in front of, for the Super Bowl, but they got to hype it up for 2 weeks, so we got to deal with it. What can I tell you? And I can't get into the Pro Bowl this week either. I'm not a big All-Star game to begin with, and I certainly don't like the Pro Bowl in the NFL. I don't like the Pro Bowl. I don't like the NHL All-Star game. The NBA All-Star team in the dunk contest, that's lost its luster. The Major League Baseball All-Star game, for home field, that's a total joke. I can't get into these All-Star games. I just can't do it. So that wraps up your football. Let's transition a little bit over to the NBA real quick. Let's recap what happened the last few days. Last Thursday, the Knicks beat Detroit in London. I thought it was a joke. They were playing in London. The Knicks got the job done. I have no idea why we're in London playing a regular season game. Ridiculous. The Clippers beat Minnesota. Miami beat the Lakers in Los Angeles. Friday, Chicago won at Boston. Indiana beat Houston. Brooklyn beat Atlanta. San Antonio beat Golden State. Oklahoma City beat Dallas. Saturday, San Antonio beat Atlanta. Memphis beat Chicago. Sunday, Denver beat Oklahoma City. Toronto beat the Lakers. Yesterday, the Nets beat the Knicks. Indiana beat Memphis. Golden State beat the Clippers. Chicago beat the Lakers. What is going on with the Lakers? They continue to lose game after game. I mean, just awful job by the Lakers. As far as some of your college basketball over the weekend, Thursday, Duke knocked off Georgia Tech. Michigan won at Minnesota. Nice win there. Florida pounded Texas A&M. Friday, there wasn't much going on. Saturday, there was all kinds of games. Syracuse won at number 1 Louisville. Tremendous win by Syracuse. Kansas rallied at Texas and beat Kansas. Texas continues to struggle. Arizona beat their arch rival Arizona State. And Butler beat Gonzaga at the buzzer by 1. Gonzaga is up 1 point. They're inbounding the ball. Butler steals it. They go down, shoot the ball at the buzzer, make it. Crowd goes crazy. They storm the court. What a tremendous game, Butler and Gonzaga. I hope you guys caught that game. Florida destroyed Missouri. Michigan State hung on and beat Ohio State. Wichita State beat Creighton. Wyoming beat San Diego State, and they held San Diego State to 9 points in the first half. 9 points in the first half. Unbelievable defense there. Oregon won at UCLA. Cincinnati beat Marquette in overtime. And Kansas State won at home against Oklahoma. Sunday, Indiana beat Northwestern. As far as yesterday, as far as your big Monday goes in college basketball, Syracuse at home beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati blew this game. They had Syracuse on the rope. Syracuse has this long winning streak at the Carrier Dome. Cincinnati really let them off the hook here. Syracuse rallied, beat them late. Georgetown pounded Notre Dame at Notre Dame. And Oklahoma beat Texas. What is going on with Texas athletics? They had a bad year in football this year. Mac Brown didn't do a good job. And what's with Rick Barnes and this basketball team? They're under 500. Texas is under 500. Are you kidding me? With all the resources and the money that Texas has, they're under 500. That's hard to believe. So that's where we are with the college basketball in the NBA. NHL is back. As far as your NHL goes, some things, it happened over the weekend. The Penguins won at Philadelphia and at the Rangers, so nice start by the Penguins. The Rangers lose to Boston and Pittsburgh. Vancouver lost twice at home. The Flyers lost twice. They lost to Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Chicago won at Phoenix and LA. Not easy to do. Devils beat the Islanders. Minnesota's 2-0. And St. Louis drubbed Detroit 6-0. I watched part of this game. St. Louis just bombed Detroit. You're not used to seeing the Red Wings take a beating like that. So that's some of the stuff that went on with the NHL. It'll take me a while to get back into the NHL. As far as things to watch out for tonight, as far as Tuesday in your NBA, great late night game tonight. Oklahoma City at the Clippers, just a tremendous game tonight if you can stay up and watch that on the East Coast. The NHL, you got Philadelphia at the New Jersey Devils, nice rivalry game there. We'll see if the Flyers can win their first game. St. Louis at Chicago, another nice game, really nice rivalry game there as well. As far as your college basketball, Louisville at Villanova. Kansas at Kansas State, tremendous rivalry. Should be a great atmosphere there. Definitely check out that game, Kansas State. Michigan State at Wisconsin. You never want to play Wisconsin. They're just a strange team to play. Illinois at Nebraska. Illinois must win. They started off hot this year. They've fallen way back. The Big Ten is loaded. You don't want to start losing to teams like Nebraska. You're going to be in danger of not making the tournament. So Illinois must win tonight at Nebraska. A couple other little news and notes over the weekend. Earl Weaver and Stan Musial passed away. I was sorry to see that. Both Hall of Famers, great personalities. Just tremendous for the game of baseball. They will be missed. And Ramon Dominguez, the jockey, he took a fall off a horse. He's got a fractured skull. Doctors are very optimistic. They're saying he's going to make a full recovery. It's just going to take some time. So hopefully we'll see Ramon Dominguez very soon, especially at the Kentucky Derby. So that was that. As far as boxing, I did catch Garcia. He beat Salido over the weekend. So nice job by him. And Gennady Golovkin dropped Rosado in a fight over the weekend as well. I'll tell you, Golovkin looks like a decent fighter, and I always pronounce his name wrong all the time. He looks like a decent fighter, a lot of power. So I did catch some boxing over the weekend. We need some big boxing matches. I mean, we haven't had much. I know we had Pacquiao Marquez, But I mean, it seems like you get like maybe one good boxing match a year. I mean, let's get some of these fighters fighting each other. Seems like all the top guys don't want to fight the other top guys. I mean, let's get the top guys fighting each other. I mean, my goodness, that's a good job. See, the UFC actually gets the top guys fighting each other. Boxing, it seems like the top guys avoid the top guys because they want to, they just want to hang on to the title and, have the least resistance all the time. That's where boxing does a bad job and UFC does a good job. UFC always has the top guys fighting the top guys. Boxing does not. You always have the boxing guys cherry picking all the time. They're picking weaker opponents all the time. So boxing's got to change in so many ways. That's one of them as well. So that is where we are as far as the sports. We had a lot to recap there. We got it all done. As far as tomorrow, we'll go through the NBA, college basketball, NHL. I want to give you a little NHL preview since I didn't get a chance to do that last week. Give you a little NHL preview, my thoughts on the NHL season, who's going to be good, bad, mediocre. We'll go through the NBA standings. We'll go through the college basketball top 25. Of course, we got plenty of time to do the Super Bowl. We got 2 full weeks of this hype of Ray Lewis, of Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, Randy Moss, Kaepernick. You're going to be hearing this nonstop 24/7 for the next 2 weeks. That's where we are today. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day. It's freezing out here on the East Coast, so definitely stay warm. Enjoy the games tonight. Definitely check out that Kansas State game. Really nice rivalry game. They should be flying at Kansas State. Should be a nice atmosphere. Definitely check that out. You got some nice NHL. You got the late night NBA tonight. You guys enjoy the games. I will talk to you tomorrow, Wednesday. Stay safe and take care.